Part 1. Invisible money leaks. You check your bank account. It's not zero. It's not terrible either. But somehow, it never grows. Every month, money comes in. Every month, money goes out. And at the end of the year, you look back and think, where did it all go? You're not reckless. You don't gamble. You don't blow thousands on luxury bags or sports cars. And yet, you're still stuck. Take Jason, 29 years old. He works in marketing, makes $4,200 a month after taxes. Decent salary, stable job. He thought he was doing okay. Not rich, but fine. Rent, $1,500. Food, $600. Transportation, subscriptions, shopping, random spending, about $1,200. That leaves him roughly $600 a month. Sounds reasonable on paper. But at the end of 12 months, Jason didn't have $7,000, not even close. He had, that's it. He didn't understand. He didn't feel like he was wasting money. But the math didn't lie. So where did the other $5,400 go? Not in one big mistake. Not in one dramatic decision. It disappeared quietly, silently. One small leak at a time. And that's the problem most people never see. You're not losing money in obvious ways. You're losing it in invisible ways. Money doesn't just leave your life through big expenses. It leaks through tiny, unnoticed decisions every single day. And those leaks, they add up faster than you think. Let's say you buy a $5 coffee 5 times a week. That's $25 a week. Feels harmless. $25, 52 weeks. $1,300 a year. Pause for a second. That's $1,300. Now imagine that money invested instead at a modest 7% annual return. After 10 years, that's about $18,000. Same money, different outcome. And here's the part most people miss. It's not about the coffee. It's about the system behind your decisions. Jason wasn't broke because of one big mistake. He was broke because of a pattern. Netflix, $15. Spotify, $10. Gym he barely used, $40. Random app subscriptions, another $25. That's $90 a month. $90, 12, $1,080 a year for things he barely noticed. Individually, none of these felt like a problem. Together, they quietly drained over $1,000 a year, and that's just one category. Add in convenience spending, Uber instead of public transport, food delivery instead of cooking, impulse Amazon buys late at night. It doesn't feel like much in the moment. It never does. But over time, it becomes a financial blind spot. And blind spots are dangerous because you don't fix what you don't see. Now meet Sarah, 42 years old. She's a teacher, earns about $5,500 a month, more disciplined than Jason, tracks her budget, or at least she thought she did. She had categories for everything. Rent, groceries, utilities, savings. Everything looked under control, but something was off. At the end of the year, she expected to save $12,000, but she only saved $6,500, almost half missing. Again, where did it go? Annual fees, late payment charges, interest on balances she thought were small. $25 here, $40 there, $18 somewhere else. It didn't look serious until you added it up. Over 1 year, Sarah paid $1,200 just in fees and interest. Money she got nothing from, no value. No asset, no growth, just gone. She wasn't irresponsible. She just didn't realize the cost of being slightly off. And that's a powerful idea. You don't need to be reckless to lose money. You just need to be slightly inefficient consistently. A 2% leak here, a 5% mistake there. Over years, it compounds in reverse. Instead of your money growing, it slowly shrinks. This is the hidden war with money, not spending versus saving, but awareness versus invisibility. Because the most expensive money mistakes don't feel expensive, they feel normal. Splitting bills, ordering extra, tipping a little more. It's fine, it's social. It's life, but repeat that 3 times a week? That's easily $200 extra a month. $200, 12, $2,400 a year. Again, no single dinner ruined his finances, but the pattern did. And that's what makes this dangerous. Everything feels justified. Everything feels small. Nothing feels like a mistake until you zoom out, and suddenly, the numbers don't make sense anymore. That's when people panic. That's when they think, I need to earn more. But here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not always an income problem. Sometimes it's a leak problem. You can pour more money into your life, but if the system is leaking, you'll never feel ahead. Jason actually got a raise, an extra $500 a month. He was excited. Finally, progress, better dinners, more convenience, a few more subscriptions, nothing crazy. Just slightly better. But at the end of the year, he still had almost nothing saved because the leaks grew with his income. This is what people call lifestyle creep, but in simple terms, you earn more, you spend more. You stay stuck. And the worst part, it doesn't feel like failure. It feels like progress. That's why this problem is so hard to fix, because it hides behind normal behavior. You don't question what feels normal. You don't track what seems small. And you definitely don't notice what happens slowly. But time magnifies everything. A $10 mistake repeated daily is $3,650 a year. A $100 inefficiency repeated monthly is $1,200 a year. Combine 5-6 of these, you're losing $5,000 to $10,000 annually. Without realizing it, let that sink in. You're not just spending money, you're bleeding money, quietly, consistently, and almost invisibly. So what do? Cut everything? Stop enjoying life? That's not realistic. And honestly, that's not the point, because the goal isn't to spend less, it's to spend with awareness. When you see the leaks, you can control them. When you understand the patterns, you can redesign them. But before you fix anything, you need to understand something deeper. Because not all money losses are obvious. Some are hidden inside systems you trust. Some are baked into habits you've had for years. And some are happening even when you think you're being responsible. That's where it gets interesting. Part 1. Invisible system losses. There's a type of money loss that feels safe, responsible even, the kind you never question. Meet David, 35 years old, works in IT, makes about $6,000 a month after taxes. He's disciplined, no debt, no reckless spending. He does what everyone says is right. Every month, he transfers $2,000 into a savings account. No excuses, no skipping. That's $24,000 a year. Sounds great. It is. His bank offers 1.8% annual interest. So on $50,000 saved, he earns about $900 a year. Not bad, right? Now look at inflation. Let's say it's 3.5% per year. That same $50,000, it's losing about $1,750 in purchasing power annually. So even though David is earning $900, he's actually losing $850 in real terms. Pause. He's saving aggressively, doing everything right, and still going backwards. That's the trap. This is invisible loss number 1, inflation. Prices quietly rise. Your money quietly buys less. No notification, no warning. David feels safe because his balance is growing. But safety isn't the same as progress. If your money grows slower than inflation, you're getting poorer. Now let's go deeper. Meet Emily, 31. She earns $4,800 a month. Smart, organized. She never misses a payment. Her credit card balance is $6,000. Interest rate 22% annually. Minimum payment $120. She pays it every month. Feels responsible. She's not ignoring it. She's handling it. But here's what's actually happening. At 22% interest, that $6,000 balance generates about That's $110 per month. So when she pays $120, only about $10 goes toward reducing the debt. $10. At that pace, it would take over 30 years to pay off, and she'd pay more than $10,000 in interest alone. She thought she was managing her debt, but the system was designed to keep her in it. That's not an accident. This is invisible loss number 2. Interest working against you. You've heard that money can grow over time. That's true, but it works both ways. Invest $5,000 at 7%, it becomes about $9,800 in 10 years. $5,000 at 20%, it can double in under 4 years if ignored. Same concept, opposite direction. Growth or destruction. And most people are on the wrong side of that equation, not because they're careless, but because they don't see it. Now let's talk about something even sneakier. Subscriptions. $9.99, $12, $7, Individually, nothing. But Emily's total? $106 a month. That's $2,232 a year. Gone. She didn't even use half of them, but they were automatic, invisible. That's invisible loss number 3, automation, without awareness. Automation is powerful. It can build wealth, but it can also drain it, silently. Now meet Kevin, 27. He loves tech. Every year, he upgrades his phone, financed. Over 5 years, that's $3,000 for devices that lose value quickly. A phone worth $1,000 today is worth maybe $300 in 2 years. Value disappears fast, but it feels normal. Everyone does it. This is invisible loss number 4, depreciation. Buy a $30,000 car, drive it for 5 years. It might be worth $15,000. You didn't just spend $30,000, you lost $15,000. Half, gone. And yet, no one calls it a loss. So now step back. David is losing to inflation. Emily is losing to interest. Jason is losing to small habits. Kevin is losing to depreciation. Different people, different situations, same outcome. Money leaking. But here's where everything changes. Because up until now, you've been thinking about money as numbers, income, expenses, savings. That's incomplete. Money isn't just math, it's behavior, it's systems. It's default settings. You don't decide most of your spending consciously. You follow patterns, habits, defaults, autopilot. Coffee in the morning, Uber when you're tired, subscription you forgot to cancel. You don't think, you just do. And that's the real problem. Not your income, not your discipline, your system. Here's the first major shift, the one most people never make. You don't lose money because of what you buy. You lose money because of how your system is designed. That's the truth. 2 people can earn the same $5,000 a month. One ends the year with $20,000 saved. The other, same income, same city. Different system. One has money automatically flowing into investments before spending. The other spends first, saves what's left. Leftovers rarely exist. If your system says, spend, then save, you'll always feel behind. If your system says, save, then spend, everything changes. Order matters. This is where people get stuck. They focus on cutting expenses, tracking every dollar, but they ignore the system. Wrong focus. You can track perfectly and still lose money because tracking doesn't fix structure. Structure beats discipline every time. David didn't need more discipline. He needed a better system for his money to grow. Emily didn't need to try harder. She needed to stop playing a game designed against her. Jason didn't need to cut everything. He needed to redesign the flow of his money. Same effort. Better direction. And once you see this, you can't unsee it. Because now, every dollar becomes a decision. Not just what to buy, but where should this go first? That changes everything. So the question becomes, not how do I spend less, but something much more powerful. How do I design a system where I stop losing money without even thinking about it? Because once you build that system, you don't just stop the leaks, you start building momentum. Part 1. Redesigning the system. Jason didn't need more motivation. He needed a new plan, not complicated, not perfect, just clear. So he did something most people avoid. He faced the numbers. Not roughly, not I think I spend about, exactly, every transaction, every dollar, no guessing. He grouped everything into simple buckets: housing, food, transportation, subscriptions, everything else, nothing fancy, just clarity. And that's when he saw it. Not one big problem, but dozens of tiny ones. 3 streaming services he barely used, daily takeout lunches at $14 each, random online purchases late at night. Individually, forgettable. Together, almost $688 a month. That's $8,160 a year. Jason just sat there. He didn't feel broke anymore. He felt. But now he could see, and once you see it, you can change it. He didn't try to cut everything. That never works. It feels like punishment. Instead, he redesigned his system. Step 1. Pay yourself first. Before rent, before food, before anything else. He set up an automatic transfer. $800 a month. Gone the moment his salary arrived. Untouchable. At first, it felt aggressive. $800. That's a lot. But here's the trick. You adjust after. When you remove money first, you naturally adapt your spending to what's left, not the other way around. Constraints create clarity. Step 2. Not cut spending. Kill low-value spending. He didn't cancel everything, just the things he didn't truly care about. 2 streaming services, 1 fitness app he never opened. That alone saved him $75 a month. Effortless win. Then he looked at food. He loved eating out, didn't want to give it up, so he didn't. He just changed frequency from 5 times a week to 2, $14, 3 meals, cut 4 weeks, $168 saved per month without suffering. Step 3. Add friction to bad habits. He removed his saved card from shopping apps. Now every purchase required typing in details. Small inconvenience, big impact. Impulse dropped fast. He also added a rule. Anything over $50, wait 24 hours, no exceptions. Urgency fades. Half the time, he didn't even want it anymore. Step 4. Automate the good. Saving is good, but investing is what grows. Jason opened a simple investment account. Nothing fancy, just a broad market fund. Spread your money. He redirected $500 of his $800 monthly savings into investing. Average return assumption, 7% per year. After 10 years, that's about $86,000. After 20 years, over $260,000. Same habit, different future. And here's the key. He didn't rely on willpower. The system did the work. That's what you want, not discipline, design. Now look at Emily again. Her problem wasn't spending. It was debt. High-interest debt, different battle. So her strategy had to be different. First, she stopped the bleeding. No new debt, no exceptions. Line drawn. Then she listed all her debts. $6,000 at 22%, $2,500 at 18%. She focused on the highest interest first. Attack the worst. She redirected $600 a month toward debt. At that rate, the $6,000 balance, gone in about 11 months. She saved over $1,000 in interest. Just by being aggressive early, speed matters. Once the first debt was gone, she rolled that payment into the next. $600 became $800. Momentum built. Snowball effect. Within 18 months, she was debt-free. For the first time in years, now that same $800 went into saving and investing. Direction changed. Same person, same income, completely different outcome. And that's the point. You don't need more money to fix this. You need a better flow. Flow is everything. Money is like water. If your system is messy, it leaks. If your system is clean, it flows. Simple. Jason stopped his leaks. Emily reversed her debt. Different paths. Same principle. Control the system, and you control the outcome. But here's something most people don't expect. The hardest part isn't the math, it's the identity shift. Who you believe you are. Jason used to think, I'm just bad with money. Now, I'm someone who builds wealth. That matters. Emily used to think, I'll always have debt. Now, I don't carry debt. New identity. Because when your identity changes, your decisions follow. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. Small wins compound. $100 saved here, $200 invested there. It doesn't feel like much until time does its work. Time amplifies, and suddenly, you're not just getting by, you're moving forward, not fast, but steadily. That's enough. But there's one more layer to this, one that most people never reach. Because even if you fix your system, even if you stop the leaks, there's still a deeper truth about money, and it changes everything. Part 1. Money as a tool. There's a moment when everything slows down. No notifications, no transactions, no noise, just you and your life. That's when the real question shows up. Not how much do I have, but something deeper. What is this money actually doing for me? Because if you've followed everything so far, you've stopped the leaks, you've built a system, you've created momentum. Jason is investing consistently. Emily is debt-free and building savings. From the outside, they're doing great. But this is where most people stop, and that's the mistake. Because money isn't the goal. It was never the goal. It's a tool, a very powerful one, but still just a tool. You don't collect tools just to have them. You use them to build something. Same with money. And here's the second major shift, the one that separates people who manage money from people who truly master it. Having more money doesn't automatically make your life better. Using money correctly does. That's the difference. There are people making $200,000 a year, still stressed, still trapped. And there are people making $60,000 who feel free. Same world, different relationship with money. That's the real game. Because once your basic needs are covered, food, shelter, every extra dollar has a choice. It can go toward status, it can go toward comfort, or it can go toward freedom. Not the same thing. Spend $800 a month on a car upgrade, or invest $800 a month for your future. $800 per month at 7% for 20 years is about $416,000. That's a choice, not right or wrong, but intentional. Most people don't choose consciously. They follow defaults. Social pressure. What feels normal. That's expensive. You're not just managing money. You're navigating influence. Ads telling you to upgrade. Friends showing curated lifestyles. A culture that rewards visible success. Hard to ignore. So people spend to feel ahead, but ironically, that often keeps them behind because they're optimizing for appearance, not for outcome. Big difference. Jason realized something. He didn't actually want more stuff. He wanted options, freedom to choose, the ability to take a break, switch jobs, say no. That's what his money was really buying. Not things, time. That's powerful. Emily realized something too. After years of debt, what she valued most wasn't luxury. It was peace. No anxiety checking her bank account. No stress before paying bills. Calm. And that's when it clicks. Money is not about accumulation. It's about alignment. Alignment between your money and your life. That's the goal. So instead of asking, how do I make more? You start asking, what do I actually want my life to look like? What makes me feel secure? What gives me freedom? Then you build around that. And this is where it becomes actionable, not abstract, real. 5 simple rules. Not easy, but simple. Rule 1. Always pay yourself first, even if it's just 10%, non-negotiable. Rule 2. Avoid high-interest debt like it's a fire, because it is. It burns fast. Rule 3. Automate your good decisions, so you don't rely on motivation. Systems win. Rule 4. Spend intentionally, not reactively. Choose. Rule 5. Invest for the long term. Let time do the heavy lifting. Be patient. If you follow these, not perfectly, but consistently, your life will look different in 5 years, very different in 10, unrecognizable in 20, and it won't feel like luck. It will feel because you didn't just make more money. You stopped losing it. You redirected it. You gave it purpose. And in the process, you changed your relationship with money forever. Money doesn't change your life. The way you use it does.